At the beginning of the drama, Hyun is reading poetry in class, and everyone likes his poetry very much. Then, Suji meets a girl and says to her, "It is good that you broke up with him, that boy was not good anyway." Actually, these people were the ones who caused their breakup. Hyun had seen them together when that girl was very happy with her boyfriend. Seeing this, Hyun did not feel good. Later, when Suji, Hyun, and Seju are in school, a boy comes there and gives Hyun and Seju their report cards. Hyun's marks are low, so that boy tells Hyun, "Study more to get higher marks." Suji does not like him talking like this. Then, when he is leaving, Suji throws a dustbin at him. When the boy turns around, Suji says to him, "I did not like that you spoke to Hyun like that, so do not talk like this again." After this, as they are leaving, Seju says to Suji, "Do not pick fights with others like this one day. It will become a big problem." Suji says, "Nothing like that will happen." Then it is their graduation day, and Suji sees an art teacher there. Actually, Suji used to like that art teacher, and the teacher liked Suji too. But when Suji's mom found out, she gave the teacher money and told him, "Stay away from Suji." So that teacher took the money and moved away from Suji. Then Seju arrives, and seeing him, the principal is not happy at all and says to him, "Do not cause any trouble today." To this, Seju tells her, "Do not worry, I will not cause any trouble today." Here, a flashback is shown where Hyun tells them one of our teachers is getting married, but she is having an affair with an art teacher. After this, the three of them decide, we will bring their affair out in front of everyone and take revenge for what the art teacher did to Suji. Then, Suji secretly hides a camera in the teacher's car. When both teachers meet and are kissing each other, it all gets recorded on the camera. Then, while the graduation ceremony is going on, Seju plays the video of both teachers. Seeing this, everyone is shocked. When the principal sees it, she immediately sends someone to turn off the video. Here, both teachers are disgraced in front of everyone. After this, as the three are leaving, Ju comes there and says to them, "You did a great job today by telling everyone the truth." After this, Ju takes a photo with them. Then they come outside, and Suji's boyfriend Lee arrives, so she goes with him. On the other hand, Ju goes to a bar with Tae-hee where she tells her, "Look at what those three did today." Then Ju says to Tae-hee, "I like Seju, and I think I should get plastic surgery so that he likes me too." Tae-hee says, "You do not need to get surgery for this. If he likes you, he will like you as you are." Meanwhile, Hyun and Seju go to a club where Seju meets a friend who asks them, "Will you join me?" So they join his group. Here, Suji goes with her boyfriend Lee to meet his friends. Suji is about to tell them about herself and Lee, but Lee stops her, takes her aside and says, "We are just good friends, nothing more than that." Saying this, he breaks up with Suji. This makes Suji feel very bad, so she goes to the bar to Hyun and Seju and drinks. After this, as they are leaving, Suji tells them about Lee. "He just passed time with me and now he has broken up with me." After this, they think, "Let's take revenge on Lee." Then Hyun goes home and his dad gives him the keys to a new house and says, "Now you move there." Hyun asks, "Why will I go there?" To this, his dad shows him a DNA report and says, "This proves that you are not my son, so you cannot stay here anymore." Hearing this, Hyun is shocked and is about to ask his dad about it, but his dad says, "If you want to ask any questions, go and ask your dead mother." Hearing this, as Hyun is going out, he sees his mother's photo and starts missing her. Then he comes out of the house, sits at a bus stop, and looks at that report. Tae-hee is also there. Hyun then remembers his mother's words, who told him, "If there is ever any problem, make a paper airplane and fly it. It will make you feel better." Hyun then does exactly that. He makes an airplane out of the DNA report and flies it. That airplane falls near Tae-hee. Tae-hee picks it up and is about to give it to Hyun. But before that, the bus arrives and Hyun gets on. Tae-hee also gets on the bus and tries to give the report to Hyun. So Hyun says to her, "I do not need this, throw it away." To this, Tae-hee says to him, "If there is a problem, you can share it." But Hyun does not tell her anything, puts the report in her book and says, "Throw it away later." Hearing this, Tae-hee sits on another seat. Then Tae-hee's stop arrives. And as she gets off the bus in a hurry, something falls out of her bag, which Hyun sees, picks up, and keeps with him. The next day, Seju comes to meet Suji. So Suji asks him, "Hyun has not come to meet me. Does he not worry about me?" Seju says he is a bit upset, so he did not come. Suji asks, "Did you two cause some trouble again?" Seju says, "When we were at the bar, Hyun had a good conversation with a lady. Then we played a game where the loser had to kiss. Hyun lost, so they both kissed." Seju shows her their photo, and Suji says, "This is Ju's mom. She used to be a model, that is why she looks so young." After this, Suji gets angry at Seju and chases him away. Then an event takes place where Tae-hee arrives and meets Lee. They both know each other from before. Suji and her mom are also there. Actually, Suji's mom organized this event. Lee asks Tae-hee about her parents. So Tae-hee tells him, they have divorced, my dad lives in Germany now. As they are talking, Soo-ji sees them and thinks, this is Lee's first love whom he has not been able to forget until now, and because of her, Lee left me. Then it is announced, the topper students will get a 4-year scholarship and will also be given a place to stay. The first name in this is Tae-hee. When Tae-hee gets the scholarship, she is very happy, but Soo-ji does not like this at all. Then Soo-ji, Hyun, and Se-ju are together, and Soo-ji says to them, Lee has still not been able to forget his first love. If someone else comes into Tae-hee's life, Lee will be in a lot of pain seeing them together, and this way we will take revenge on him. She asks Hyun, will you become Tae-hee's fake boyfriend? But Hyun refuses and leaves. Then they go to the event where, seeing his dad, Hyun comes outside and meets Ju's mom. She says to him, please do not tell anyone what happened between us, especially not Ju. Hyun says, fine, I will not tell. While they are talking, Tae-hee sees them. Then at the event, Hyun's dad and Soo-ji's mom announce, we like each other and we are going to get married soon. Hearing this, Soo-ji and Hyun are shocked. Then these three are standing in a place when Lee arrives and mocks them, which makes the three of them even angrier at Lee. On the other hand, Tae-hee goes to meet her mom and tells her, I got the scholarship, which makes her mom happy, but Tae-hee says to her, you should not show off like this. Here, Tae-hee says a lot to her mom and leaves. Actually, when Tae-hee's parents divorced, her mom sent her to her dad in Germany and then did not call her for 4 years. After that, Tae-hee came back on her own, but she is still very angry with her mom because of this. Then Hyun is driving his car, but his mind is still on all these things. Just then, Tae-hee comes in front of him and an accident is about to happen. So Hyun turns the car the other way, which causes his car to hit something. This injures Hyun as well. Here, while saving herself from the car, Tae-hee falls down and gets injured too. Hyun then comes out of the car and says to Tae-hee, you did not get hurt because of my car. Then Hyun gets a call from Se-ju, who tells him, look at Soo-ji's condition. So Hyun says to Tae-hee, you get treatment for this, I will pay the money. After this, he saves his number in Tae-hee's mobile and leaves. After he leaves, Tae-hee remembers that she saw his photo in Ju's mobile. Actually, when Ju took a selfie with these people, Tae-hee saw that selfie and thought, Hyun is the boy Ju likes. On the other hand, Soo-ji is getting angry at her mom, and during this, she breaks a glass in her hand, causing her hand to bleed. Se-ju and her mom try to stop her, but she doesn't listen to anything. Just then, Hyun arrives and stops her. After this, the three of them together. Soo-ji says to them, I have no one except you two. Her mom hears this and gets very upset. Then she goes to the bathroom and feels very sad thinking about all this. On the other side, Tae-hee and her mom are also sad. Then Hyun puts Soo-ji to sleep and leaves. The next day, Se-ju's dad has him beaten by one of his men because Se-ju had stolen his car to go to the event, and later Hyun had an accident with that car. After this, Se-ju's dad has him locked in a room and says, your mischief has become too much. Then Se-ju calls Hyun, tells him everything, and says, now you can stay in my house peacefully for a few days. Hyun says, fine. Actually, when his dad kicked him out of the house, Hyun came to Se-ju's house instead of going to his own home and was staying with him. Se-ju then asks Hyun, how is Soo-ji? And Hyun says, I have not spoken to her today. On the other side, Soo-ji's mom comes to talk to her, but Soo-ji does not talk to her nicely at all and leaves. Then Hyun goes to meet his dad and says to him, the car accident happened because of me last night, so call Se-ju's dad and tell him it was not Se-ju's fault, so they let him go. Hyun's dad refuses to call and gets very angry at Hyun and leaves. Se-ju escapes from the house and arrives at the place where these three often meet. Then Hyun and Soo-ji also arrive there. Then they start talking about their parents' marriage. Soo-ji says, we should stop their marriage. Hyun says, there is one way, let's get married before them. They are both doing this marriage to merge their businesses. If we get married, the business will still merge. To this, Soo-ji says, I am not in a joking mood right now. Hyun says, I am not joking. We will get married now and get divorced later. Soo-ji says, I know you want to take revenge on your dad, but this is not right. Then Se-ju leaves. After he leaves, Soo-ji asks Hyun, do you really want to marry me to take revenge on your dad? Hyun says, yes. Soo-ji says, okay, then you prove it by kissing me. Hyun says, what do you think? Can I not kiss you? Soo-ji says, yes, you cannot. Hyun says, I can. Saying this, he goes to Soo-ji and is about to kiss her, but Soo-ji stops him and says, if you want to marry me, you will have to do one thing for me. Hyun asks, what kind of work? Soo-ji is about to tell him when Se-ju comes back and says, I was going to the bar, but now my plan is canceled. On the other side, Soo-ji's mom goes to meet Hyun's dad. Actually, Soo-ji's mom is a doctor and also manages her business. Here they talk a lot, and then Hyun's dad says to her, "Will you marry me?" Seeing this, Suji's mom is very happy. Then as Hyun is leaving, he remembers Suji's words, "Fake love Tae-hee to take revenge on Lee and then leave her." Hyun says, "I agree to this." The next day while Hyun is looking through some of his belongings, he finds the same envelope that fell from Tae-hee on the bus that day. After this, Hyun makes a drawing of Tae-hee. On the other side, Suji and Seju go to a place where they see Tae-hee, so Suji follows her. Tae-hee meets someone who shows her a photo of the place where Tae-hee is going to live. Tae-hee is very happy to see this. Suji also sees all this, and then an idea comes to her mind. Then as Tae-hee is leaving, she meets Suji's mom and thanks her for the scholarship. Then Suji calls someone pretending to be Tae-hee and asks, "By when do I have to shift to that hostel room?" To which they reply, "You have to come on Saturday." After this, Suji meets her mom and says, "I will not let you do all this." Mom says, "Do whatever you want. I will also see how you stop this marriage." Hyun reads the address from that envelope and then goes there with flowers. He thinks, this house belongs to Tae-hee, but it turns out to be Ju's house. Ju's mom comes outside, and Hyun is shocked to see her. Ju's mom takes the flowers from him and says, "You should not have come here like this. It will not be right if someone sees us together." As they are talking, Tae-hee and Ju arrive. Tae-hee sees them and immediately starts taking Ju away because she saw Hyun and Ju's mom together on the day of the event. So she thought they are having an affair. As they are leaving, Hyun stops them. Seeing Hyun, Ju sends Tae-hee away. After she leaves, Ju starts crying and says to Hyun, "I know what happened between you and my mother." Hyun tries to explain, "There is nothing between us now." But she doesn't listen to anything, so Hyun leaves her crying and goes. Tae-hee also sees all this and says, "What kind of a person is he? He left her crying and went away." Then Ju comes home and asks her mom, "Who brought these flowers?" Her mom tells her, "Hyun brought these for Tae-hee." Tae-hee was about to have an accident with Hyun's car that day. That is why Hyun came here to meet her. Ju is surprised to learn this. Then she calls Tae-hee and tells her, "Hyun came here to meet you, but you stay away from him. He keeps flirting with everyone." Tae-hee says, "Yes, I will stay away from him." Here, Hyun tells everything to Seju and Suji, so Suji starts getting angry at him. What was the need to kiss Ju's mom that day? To this, Seju and Hyun say, "How did we know she was Ju's mom?" The next day, Hyun is standing at the bus stop waiting for Tae-hee. Tae-hee arrives and Hyun starts looking at her. Then the bus arrives and Tae-hee gets on, so Hyun also follows her onto the bus. Seeing this, Tae-hee asks him, "Are you following me?" Hyun says, "No." Then Tae-hee is about to fall, so Hyun catches her. After this, one seat is empty, so Hyun sits on it. Then another man enters the bus and misbehaves with Tae-hee. Seeing this, Hyun hits him and kicks him off the bus. After getting off the bus, that man messages Hyun, "The time is not up, but I want full money." Actually, Hyun himself had sent this man so that Tae-hee would be impressed by him. But Tae-hee finds out that Hyun planned all this. She says to Hyun, "I know you planned all this." Hyun says, "There is nothing like that." Then he says to Tae-hee, "This is our second meeting on the bus. Do you not think our fate wants us to meet?" Saying this, Hyun gets off the bus, and Tae-hee starts thinking about him. On the other side, Suji meets Ju and during the conversation asks her about Tae-hee, so Ju tells her Tae-hee has no interest in dating. Then Suji tells this to Hyun and Seju. Then Hyun first tells them everything that happened on the bus today and then says, "Tae-hee believes in fate. If I meet her again and again, she will feel that it is our fate that is bringing us together. In this way, she will come close to me." Suji and Sejao like his idea very much. After this, they plan what they have to do next. The next day, Tae-hee goes to the library and Hyun also arrives there. Tae-hee sees him. Then Hyun pretends to sleep in the library and Tae-hee comes to him and wakes him up. Then they are outside where Tae-hee says to Hyun, "Do you have something to say to me?" Hyun asks, "Can we have lunch together?" Tae-hee says, "Yes, let's have lunch." After this, they have lunch together where Tae-hee says to him, "Ju told me everything about you, that you keep flirting with girls, and I also know what happened between you and Ju's mother. I do not want to stay with a boy like this. I hope you do not meet me again." Saying this, Tae-hee leaves. On the other side, Suji and Seju go shopping, where Suji tells Seju, "Ju likes you, and I have promised her that I will introduce her to you. That is why she told me everything about Tae-hee. Now you have to meet her." To this, Seju says, "I can date anyone, but I will never date Ju because she is not my type." Then at night, Hyun tells Suji and Seju everything that happened today and says, "Think what we have to do next." On the other side, Tae-hee comes to the bus stop to drop off Ju. Then after Ju leaves, she starts thinking about Hyun. "Hyun waits for me here." Then Tae-hee comes home and says to herself, "I should not have talked to him rudely." After this, She starts looking for Hyun's airplane and says, I will return his airplane, and then everything will end here. On the other side, Hyun is thinking about Tae-hee. Then he calls Tae-hee. Tae-hee is about to pick up his call, but before that, Hyun hangs up and says, now she will stay irritated all night. The next day, Suji's mom comes to talk to Suji again, but Suji again does not talk to her nicely. Suji's mom doesn't like this. Then Suji's mom comes to the room and calls Hyun's dad, but Hyun's dad starts talking straight about work. Hearing this, Suji's mom says, I called to ask if you had breakfast or not, and you have started talking straight about work. After this, she asks, can we meet? And Hyun's dad says, I will find time to meet. On the other side, Hyun calls Tae-hee again. As soon as Tae-hee picks up his call, Hyun hangs up. Seeing this, Tae-hee gets irritated. Here, Suji comes shopping with Ju. After shopping, Seju comes to drop Ju home. Seeing this, Ju becomes very happy. After this, those three meet and plan the next move. The next day, Ju and Tae-hee go for a haircut. There, Ju tells Tae-hee, Hyun's dad and Suji's mom are going to get married. If that happens, they will become siblings. After this, she says many good things about Hyun, which Suji had told her. Everyone thinks Hyun is wrong that he flirts with every girl, but actually it is not like that he is a very good boy. Ju tells all this to Tae-hee. Then when Tae-hee comes to the bus stop after her haircut, she meets Hyun, who says to her, this new haircut looks very good on you. After this, the bus arrives and Tae-hee gets on, so Hyun also follows her onto the bus. Then after getting off the bus, as Tae-hee is walking, Han follows her. Seeing this, Tae-hee says to him, why are you following me? Hyun says, to see you. Hearing this, Tae-hee doesn't understand what to say next. Just then, people from the old age home arrive, and seeing Hyun with Tae-hee ask, is he your boyfriend? Tae-hee says, no, just a friend. Then they all go to the old age home. Actually, Tae-hee had come today to help these people with their work, and Hyun also followed her there. Then they both are working there, where everyone repeatedly says to Tae-hee, your boyfriend is very handsome. To this, Tae-hee tells them, he is not my boyfriend, just a friend. Then Hyun gets tired from working, so he calls Suji and says, I am stuck here. Suji says to him, have courage and finish the work. Then two aunties come there and irritate Hyun by asking him various questions. After finishing the work, as they are leaving, Hyun falls asleep on Tae-hee's shoulder on the bus due to exhaustion. Seeing this, Tae-hee says nothing to him. Then after getting off the bus, Hyun asks Tae-hee, will you go on a date with me? To which Tae-hee refuses, saying, my friend Ju likes you? Hyun says, but I like you. Tae-hee still refuses. Hearing this, Hyun gets sad and leaves. Then Suji and Seju are in the club. Suji also calls Hyun to the club, but Hyun says, I am very tired, I will not come. Then Ju arrives at the club, and Suji tells Hyun, Ju likes Seju, not you. Hearing this, Hyun is happy and says, good, so Ju likes Seju, not me. On the other side, Hyun is making noodles and doesn't know how much water to put in, so he calls Tae-hee to ask about it. Tae-hee tells him the whole way to make noodles. After the noodles are made, when Hyun tastes them, he says, they are actually very good. On the other side, Tae-hee is eating noodles when Ju arrives and tells her, I like Seju, but it seems he does not like me. Hearing this, Tae-hee is surprised and confirms with Ju, who do you like? Ju says, I like Seju. Hearing this, Tae-hee tells her about Hyun. He likes me. To this, Ju says, Suji told me he is a good boy, you should also like him. The next day, Suji goes to a restaurant with her mom to meet Hyun's dad. Then Suji sees Hyun's dad going somewhere else instead of coming to the restaurant. Seeing this, Suji says, the restaurant is this way, then where's he going? After this, she comes to the restaurant, and they both start waiting for Hyun's dad. On the other side, Hyun's dad goes to meet Tae-hee's mom. Here, Suji gets angry while waiting and goes outside. On the other side, it is revealed from the conversation of Tae-hee's mom and Hyun's dad, we have been having an affair for a long time. Actually, Hyun's dad is marrying Suji's mom only for business, and he is having an affair with Tae-hee's mom. On the other side, Tae-hee had gone to work in the old age home when Hyun arrived and started working with her. Tae-hee asks, why have you come here? Hyun says, I found out that your friend likes Seju, not me, so now what is your opinion about me? Tae-hee says, I do not understand what to say. Here, Hyun's dad and Tae-hee's mom are hugging when Suji arrives and sees them hugging. Seeing this, she thinks, Hyun's dad is cheating on my mom. Then as Hyun and Tae-hee are leaving, Hyun says to Tae-hee, I will wait for your answer. On the other side, when Hyun's dad meets Suji and her mom, they both start talking about business. Seeing this, Suji gets angry and leaves. Then Tae-hee goes home and is very happy. Seeing this, Ju asks her, what is the matter? Why are you so happy? To this, Tae-hee says, Hyun said that he likes me, and he asked me for an answer. Hearing this, Ju is also happy for her. Finally, Taehi has liked a boy. Then Ju says, I will ask Suji, is Hyun interested in you or just passing time? And then I'll tell you. After this, Ju messages Suji to ask about this. Suji tells her, I do not think Hyun is interested in her. When Ju tells this to Taehi, Taehi becomes sad. On the other side, Seju and Suji are joking around when a plate accidentally breaks from Suji. Seeing this, Hyun gets angry at her and Suji feels bad, so she leaves in anger. Seju also follows her. Actually, during nursing, Hyun had made a drawing on this plate along with an ant. Taehi liked that drawing very much, so she had the same design made on it, and she had asked Hyun to gift wrap it and give it to that ant. The next day, Hyun tries hard to repair the plate, but he can't. Then Taehi comes to the old age home, and Hyun also arrives there. He tries to talk to Taehi, but Taehi ignores him. Then, when it's time to give the plate to the aunt, Hyun tells Taehi, that plate is broken. Hearing this, Taehi is shocked. Then she tells this to the aunt, and the aunt starts crying. Seeing this, Hyun takes her outside to make her happy, which makes the aunt happy. After this, Hyun meets Taehi and says, I'm sorry for breaking the plate, but Taehi gets very angry at him, so he leaves sadly. Then he is at home and is very sad. Seju comes to meet him and talks about various things so that his mood gets better. But Hyun's mood doesn't get better, so he tells Seju to leave. On the other side, in the old age home, a lady finds an old photo in which Hyun and his mom are present. She shows this photo to Taehi and tells her, she is the owner of our foundation, and she died 2 years ago. Learning this, Taehi feels bad for Hyun. Then she is sitting in a place and thinking about Hyun. Then Seju brings Hyun and Suji to his place and makes them patch up. After this, they talk about the future plan, where Suji tells them, I have canceled Taehi's hostel room. Learning this, Hyun is shocked and says, this is not right, we should not do this. Suji says, no, this is absolutely right. On the other side, Suji's mom comes outside Hyun's dad's office and calls him, asking, can we have dinner together? But Hyun's dad refuses, saying, I have a lot of work. After this, Suji's mom is standing outside when Hyun's dad comes out, sits in his car, and leaves. Suji's mom does not feel good seeing this. Here, these three are going somewhere when Seju sees a girl on the way and gets out of the car. Then Hyun and Suji leave him there and move forward. On the other side, Hyun's dad meets Taehi's mom, and both start talking about their past. Then, as Hyun and Suji are going, Hyun says to Suji, we should not do this with Taehi. Hearing this, Suji feels that Hyun has actually started liking Taehi, which is why he is caring so much about her. Thinking this, Suji gets angry at Hyun, gets out of the car, and leaves. Hyun goes after her to convince her and tries hard, but Suji is very angry at that time and says to Hyun, I know you have actually started liking Taehi. That is why you care so much about her, right? To this, Hyun says, what you are thinking is not true, and you told me to go after Taehi, and I went after her. Following your words, now you are misunderstanding me. After this, Hyun also says to Suji, whatever you want will happen. Hearing this, Suji says, I agree to this. Then Hyun drops her at her house. The next day, as Taehi is packing her stuff to go to the hostel, Hyun arrives and helps her. Then after reaching the hostel, Taehi finds out that someone else has come to her room. She is shocked to learn this. Then she calls someone to find out about it, and she finds out, I have canceled the room myself. That is why someone else has been sent there. Actually, Suji had done all this. Taehi is shocked to learn this and says, why would I cancel my own room? Now Taehi has no place to stay. So Hyun takes her to his house and says, you stay here for now, I will arrange a house for you tomorrow. Then they both go to eat ice cream, where Taehi tells him her feelings. I like you. Hearing this, Hyun is happy, and then both kiss each other. The next day, Hyun gets the house in front of him on rent for Taehi. Actually, this house belongs to Hyun, but he doesn't tell this to Taehi. Then a light in the house is broken, so Taehi fixes it. After that, as Hyun is taking the ladder, a scratch accidentally gets on the wall. Seeing this, Taehi gets worried and says, now I will have to pay for this too. On the other side, Suji plays the cello. Seeing this, Seju says to her, you play the cello very well. The next day, Hyun brings some stuff for Taehi. Just then, Taehi comes out of her house. Seeing this, Hyun immediately starts going into his house. But Taehi stops him and thanks him for the stuff. When Hyun looks at her, he keeps looking. Then he tells her a lie and leaves. This is given to all new tenants here. Then he comes inside the house and says, how cute she was looking today. Just then he gets a call from his dad's assistant, and Hyun goes to meet him. The assistant tells him, the building you live in, your mom named it after you long ago. Now that building is yours. Hyun says, fine. On the other side, Taehi meets Ju and tells her about Hyun. We both have kissed. Hearing this, Ju is shocked. Just then, Suji also arrives there, so Ju says hello to her and then introduces her to Tae-hee. After this, Suji says to Ju and Tae-hee, I am going to a show, would you both like to come with me? Ju says, yes, I'll go. But Tae-hee says, I cannot come because I have work. Then Hyun comes there to pick up Suji. Here, Hyun does not talk to Tae-hee and leaves with Suji and Ju. Seeing this, Tae-hee feels a bit strange. In the car, Ju says to Hyun, thank you for helping with Tae-hee's shifting. Suji also hears this and doesn't like it. Then when Hyun drops them both, Suji says to him, you went to help Tae-hee? Hyun says, yes, because I thought it was a good opportunity to impress her. After this, Suji is about to ask something when Ju starts taking their photo, so Suji is unable to ask. Then Hyun leaves. After Hyun leaves, Suji says to Ju, let's all go on a trip somewhere. Maybe they both will come close there. Ju says, fine. Then as Tae-hee is reading the house contract, she finds out Han is the owner of this house. She is shocked to learn this. After this, when Tae-hee is going home, Han stops her and asks, can we have dinner together? Tae-hee refuses at first, but then says, okay, let's eat, on Han's repeated requests. Then when Han is taking out the food, Tae-hee goes to get something from his drawer. Then she sees condom packets there and is shocked. Just then, Hyun also arrives there to call her. He gets nervous seeing those packets. Then Tae-hee immediately leaves. After she leaves, Hyun gets angry at Se-ju for why he kept them there. On the other side, Se-ju goes to drop off Ju and Ju tells him, Suji has made a plan that we will all go on a trip to bring Hyun and Tae-hee close. Se-ju asks her, will you also come? Ju says, yes, maybe we will also come close this way. Hearing this, Se-ju gets angry. Then, after Ju leaves, Se-ju says, I will have to do something to stop her from going there. He is thinking all this when an idea comes to him. He calls Ju's maid to meet him and asks her, will you help me? The maid refuses at first, then Se-ju shows her a dance and she says, fine, I will help. The next day, Ju meets Tae-hee and says, you will help me impress Se-ju. Tae-hee says, yes, I will. Ju says, they are all going to Se-ju's cottage, so I have told them that we will also go there. I will go there and impress Se-ju and you help. Hearing Ju's words, Tae-hee says, I agree to go. On the other side, Suji asks Hyun, where is Tae-hee living now? Hyun says, I do not know where she has gone. Actually, Hyun has now started liking Tae-hee for real, and that is why he is doing all this. Then Se-ju and Suji tell Hyun about the trip and also tell him that Tae-hee and Ju are also coming. Hearing this, Hyun is surprised. Then Ju's maid mixes something in the food and sets it on the table. Mom then calls Ju to eat. Ju comes there but leaves without eating anything. After she leaves, her mom starts eating that food. The next day, as Tae-hee is going to meet Ju for the trip, she meets Hyun. Hyun asks her, where are you going? Tae-hee says, I am going to meet Ju. Saying this, she moves forward. On the other side, Ju's mom's health deteriorates, so Ju cancels the trip program. Then she calls Tae-hee and tells her all this, so Tae-hee says, I also cancel. But Ju says, no, you do not cancel. Then Ju calls Hyun and says, I will not be able to come, so you pick up Tae-hee. Hyun says, fine. On the other side, Se-ju goes to pick up Suji, so Suji says to him, Hyun was supposed to pick me up. Se-ju says, he got some work, that is why I have come. Then as Tae-hee is going, her foot twists, which causes pain to start in her foot. Then Hyun arrives there and picks her up. Tae-hee is angry with him. She says to him, why did you not tell me that you are the owner of that house? To this, Hyun says sorry to her, I have hidden this from you. Hearing the apology, Tae-hee forgives him. Then they both go to the cottage where Hyun says, we should make food first. Tae-hee says, fine. Then as Hyun is making food, Tae-hee starts helping him, but Hyun stops her and makes the food alone. Then when they both are eating food, Se-ju and Suji also arrive there. Seeing them happy together, Suji doesn't like it at all. Then at night, while they are having dinner, Hyun is taking care of Tae-hee. Seeing this, Suji doesn't like it at all. After this, they are talking and Tae-hee says, Hyun likes to draw very much. Suji says, no, Hyun does not like drawing at all. Tae-hee says, Hyun likes drawing. He had made a drawing on a plate in the old age home. Suji says, I have known him for a long time. He does not like drawing at all. On this point, Hyun also sides with Suji. I do not like drawing. Hearing this, Tae-hee does not feel good, so she makes an excuse to call Ju and leaves. Then Se-ju and Suji are watching a movie when Se-ju says to Suji, you were the one who wanted Hyun and Tae-hee to come close. Now that they are coming close, why are you causing a fight between them? To this, Suji says, there is nothing like that, we were just talking. Then Tae-hee comes for swimming when Hyun also arrives there and says sorry to her. So Tae-hee forgives him. Then they both are about to kiss, but just then Hyun stops and says to Tae-hee, Come out quickly after swimming, we will go to see the stars. After he leaves, Suji arrives there and says to Tae-hee, Hyun and I like each other, but now our parents are getting married, so we have to live like siblings out of necessity. However, I am happy that Hyun found someone before me. Hearing this, Tae-hee says, so you mean that you both like each other, and Hyun came close to me just to make you speak? Suji says, yes. Then, as Tae-hee is leaving, Suji says to her, please do not tell this to anyone else. Tae-hee says, fine, I will not tell. Then, while Han is making coffee, he gets a message from Tae-hee. I will not go to see stars, I am feeling sleepy, so I'm going to sleep. Han is a bit upset seeing this message. Just then, Suji arrives, and as they are talking, Tae-hee arrives there. Seeing them happy together, she feels bad and leaves. Then Hyun goes to give coffee to Tae-hee, but Tae-hee doesn't talk much to him, so Hyun leaves. On the other side, Suji says to herself, I do not like that you like Tae-hee because I like you. After this, she throws the coffee and leaves. Seju hears her words. The next day, Suji's mom comes to the old age home and seeing Hyun's mom's photo kept there, remembers that when Hyun's mom's accident happened, she had reached there and tried to save her but couldn't. Then when the flashback ends, Suji's mom says, what happened that day was wrong. Here, when Hyun wakes up, Suji tells him Tae-hee has left. Hearing this, Hyun goes after her. On the other side, as Tae-hee is going, she gets tired and sits in a place. Just then, Hyun arrives and starts picking her up and taking her. Seeing this, Tae-hee feels good, so she starts taking his photos. Then they both leave while talking. Here, Seju brings Suji for fishing, where he says to Suji, you feel that Hyun has really started liking Tae-hee and is moving away from you? That is why you said something to Tae-hee that she has left from here, right? What have you said to her? Suji says, I have not said anything to her, and I do not know why she left. Seju then asks her, what is your future plan? And Suji says, I have not thought of anything yet. Seju says, let's leave it, let's fish. After this, they both start fishing. Then Hyun brings Tae-hee home and makes food for her. After this, they click photos of the food. On the other side, Seju brings Suji home when some people arrive and take Seju away. Seeing this, Suji gets scared. Here, Hyun and Tae-hee are eating food when Hyun gets a call from Suji, who asks him to come quickly, so Hyun leaves the food and immediately goes to meet Suji. Suji tells him everything. Then Hyun finds out about Seju and tells Suji they are his family members who have taken him. Actually, yesterday was someone's memorial day at Seju's house, but Seju didn't go and escaped from the house to go on the trip. Hyun tells all this to Suji, and hearing this, Suji is relaxed. Then, as Hyun is leaving, Suji's mom arrives. She asks Hyun to come into the house, but Hyun refuses, saying, I have some work. On the other side, while waiting for Hyun, Tae-hee is happy looking at his photo, but then her eyes fall on Suji and Hyun's photo, so she gets sad and is going to her house when Ju arrives. Then they both are sitting outside and talking, where Tae-hee starts bad-mouthing Hyun and says, I do not know why I loved him. Just then, Hyun arrives and hears her words. Then as soon as Tae-hee sees Hyun, she is shocked. After this, Hyun tells her to meet tomorrow and leaves. The next day, Seju's sister-in-law tells his dad what Seju has done in the past few days. She tells, in the last 23 days, Seju has been home for only 1 day. Seeing this, the dad gets very angry at Seju, and then they decide that they will send Seju abroad. On this, Seju says, yes, send me. Anyway, I only know how to eat good food and flirt with girls, so I will do the same there. Hearing this, everyone gets angry at him and asks him to open a restaurant here and run it, so Seju says, okay, I will do it. Then Hyun goes to meet Tae-hee, but Tae-hee is not at home. He asks Ju about Tae-hee, and Ju tells him she has gone to work. Then Hyun meets a man and talks to him about his mother's accident. He tells him, your mother's accident was a hit-and-run case. After this, he goes to his house, sits outside, and cries remembering his mother. Then Hyun comes to meet Tae-hee and asks her to go out somewhere with him, but Tae-hee refuses. Then a friend of Tae-hee arrives and starts talking to her. Seeing this, Hyun does not like it at all. Then Tae-hee's friend asks her to come to a place for a job interview, so Tae-hee says, I will come. Seeing this, Hyun does not like it at all. Then he goes to the old age home. There, all the ladies ask him, has Tae-hee not come with you? Is she angry with you? Hyun says, yes, she is angry with me. On this point, those ladies give him money and say, you take Tae-hee for dinner with you, she will agree with this. Hyun explains to them a lot, I have money, but they don't listen and give him the money. On the other side, Tae-hee comes to the place mentioned by her friend for the interview, but here she finds out that her friend has lied and called her here for a date. Learning this, she gets angry at him and then leaves from there. Then, as she is leaving, she sees that some children's ball has gotten stuck on a tree, so she climbs the tree to get it. Just then, Yoon arrives and says to Tae-hee, what was the need to climb the tree for such a small task? Then he takes another ball and hits that ball, causing it to come down. Then Hyun gives that ball to the children and sends them away. After this, he says to Tae-hee, "Come down and go for dinner with me." Tae-hee says, "Move back, I will jump." Hyun moves back. Then Tae-hee jumps, but Hyun catches her. Then he brings Tae-hee to his house and starts preparing dinner. During this, Tae-hee starts looking at the drawings made by him. When she sees Sooji's drawing in it, she feels very bad. Then she gets a call, so she goes to attend it. Here, Hyun prepares dinner and starts waiting for her. Then when he goes to pick up his drawing, he sees Sooji's drawing in it. Seeing it, Hyun thinks, Tae-hee has seen this drawing and that is why she has left. Then he goes to meet Tae-hee. Tae-hee says to him, "I will not be able to continue all this further." Hearing this, Hyun tries hard to explain to her, but she doesn't listen to anything. Then Hyun asks her, "Did Sooji say something to you?" Tae-hee says, "No, she did not say anything to me, but now I will not be able to continue this relationship further." Saying this, she closes the door and starts crying. Outside, Hyun is also very sad about all this. Then Tae-hee deletes Hyun's photos and says, "From now on, I will stay away from you." On the other side, Hyun starts drinking in a bar. Seeing this, the bar waiter calls Seju and tells him, "Your friend is drinking here and he also looks very upset." Learning this, Sooji and Seju arrive there. Seeing Sooji there, Hyun goes to her and asks, "What did you say to Tae-hee?" Sooji says, "I told her that we both like each other." Hearing this, Hyun gets angry at her. Then Sooji leaves, and Seju goes after her and asks, "Why are you coming between those two?" Sooji says, "There is nothing like that." Then Hyun faints and falls due to excessive drinking, so the people there take him to the hospital. The next day, as Tae-hee is packing her stuff to leave, she finds Hyun's airplane. Tae-hee opens it and sees that Hyun and his dad's DNA do not match. Seeing this, she feels bad for Hyun. On the other side, Hyun is in the hospital when Seju comes to meet him and tells him what he did last night. Hyun says, "I do not remember anything." Then Seju asks him about Tae-hee. Has she come to the hospital? On this, Hyun says, "We both have separated." Seju asks him, "So will you date Sooji now?" Hyun says, "No, she is only my good friend." Seju says, "Then I will date Sooji." To this, Hyun says all the best to him. Then a man shows an article to Hyun's dad and Sooji's mom and says, "We want to publish this so everyone thinks this marriage is not a business deal." Sooji's mom says, "I like this idea," but Hyun's dad doesn't. But then he changes the title and tells them to publish it. Seeing this, Sooji's mom does not feel good. Then Seju meets Sooji and tells her, Hyun and Tae-hee have broken up. Hearing this, Sooji is happy. On the other side, as Hyun is walking in the hospital, he remembers his mother when she was in the hospital. Hyun used to take care of her. Then Hyun meets Sooji's mom and asks her about his mother's accident. He says, "You were my mother's doctor. Do you know anything about this?" Sooji's mom says, "On that day, an accident happened to a student from your mother's car who was walking on that road. After that, your mother also had an accident. We hid this because we did not want people to speak ill of your mother after she was gone." Then Tae-hee sees that Hyun is not at home, so she comes back and calls him. Then someone tells her everything that happened yesterday and also says, "Hyun's phone is here, so will you give him his phone?" Tae-hee says, "Fine." Here, while Hyun is talking to Sooji's mom, Sooji arrives and says to Hyun, "I came here only to meet you, but you were not in your room." Then she asks Hyun about his health, and Hyun says, "I am fine." After this, Sooji's mom tells them, "Hyun's dad and I are getting married very soon." Hearing this, both are shocked. After this, Hyun goes to his room. Then as Sooji is leaving after seeing him from outside the room, Tae-hee arrives there. She sees Sooji and gets sad, and then says to herself, "I will just leave after giving the phone." After this, she meets Hyun, gives him his phone, and asks about his health. Hyun says, "I am fine." Then Tae-hee tells him, "I will vacate the house in a day or two." Hyun stops her from leaving. Tae-hee says, "No, I cannot live there anymore." After this, as Tae-hee is leaving, Hyun catches her hand and says to her, "I know what Sooji has said to you. I do not like her. She is only a good friend of mine. I only like you." Hearing this from Hyun, Tae-hee says, "Okay, I will stay." Then Hyun starts telling her about his mother and also makes her wear his mother's locket. Seeing this, Tae-hee is happy. After this, they both talk a lot and sleep together. The next day, Hyun is discharged from the hospital. When he is paying the hospital bill, his card doesn't work, so Tae-hee says, "I will pay the bill." After this, they both come home where Tae-hee tells Hyun, "You should rest," and takes care of him herself. The next day, Seju buys a restaurant. Then everyone goes to his restaurant and enjoys the food. Then, as Hyun is taking food for Tae-hee, Ju sees this and asks him, "You are taking this for Tae-hee, right?" Hyun says, "Yes." After this, Hyun says to Ju, Tae-hee and I are dating. Do not tell this to Suji yet. Ju says, fine. Seeing Hyun talking and laughing like this, Suji feels good. Then she goes to Hyun and says sorry to him. I said all that to Tae-hee. Hyun says, no problem. The next morning, while Hyun is sleeping, Tae-hee arrives and wakes him up, then takes him to a shop and says to him, they needed someone for drawing, so I have given work with them today. Then Ju and Tae-hee go to a place where Tae-hee meets her mom and her friend. Then, as Tae-hee is walking while talking to her mom's friend, Suji arrives and sees them together. Then she asks Ju about them, and Ju tells her she is Tae-hee's mom. Here, Suji finds out that the person Hyun's dad is having an affair with is Tae-hee's mom. Then at night, while Hyun is returning after drawing, he meets Suji. She asks him to drop her. As Hyun drops her, Suji says to him, you have changed a bit. This leads to an argument between them. In anger, Suji tells Hyun, your dad is having an affair with someone, and they are using my mom. Hyun asks her, who is she? But Suji does not tell him about Tae-hee's mom here and leaves. Then Hyun goes to Tae-hee's house and says to her, I am hungry. Then they both make noodles together and eat. After this, they go to see the stars where they talk a lot with each other. On the other side, Hyun's dad's assistant tells Suji's mom, Hyun is not his son. Hearing this, Suji's mom cannot believe it, so she says, I will find out about this. Then, while Seju and Suji are going, Seju starts flirting with Suji. Seeing this, Suji gets angry at him. Do not flirt with me! Then they both go to eat something when Hyun's dad and Tae-hee's mom also arrive there. When Suji sees them together, she gets very angry. Then she tells Seju, they are having an affair. After this, as they both are leaving, Suji is still very upset. Then a drunk man is about to collide with Suji, but Seju comes forward and stops him. The next day, Hyun goes to meet his dad and asks him, who is that woman whom you are dating? Dad doesn't tell him anything and instead gets angry at him and tells him to stay away from all this. But Hyun says, I will not let you cheat Suji's mom, so I will find out about this. They both are arguing about this when Suji's mom arrives, so Hyun leaves. After he leaves, Hyun's dad and Suji's mom are talking about business when Hyun's dad's health deteriorates a bit. Suji's mom says to him, your health does not seem fine. Hyun's dad says, no, I am perfectly fine, just a little tiredness. Then at night, when Hyun goes to Tae-hee's house, he sees that Tae-hee's house is completely dirty. While Tae-hee is working, Hyun cleans her house. Then Tae-hee falls asleep while sitting there, so Hyun puts a sheet over her and leaves. The next morning, while Tae-hee is sleeping, Hyun arrives and forcibly takes her jogging. During jogging, Tae-hee gets very tired and sits on the ground. Seeing this, Hyun picks her up and sits her on a bench to rest a bit. They are talking here when a ball is about to hit Hyun. Just then, Tae-hee comes in between and saves him, but her hand gets injured. Then Hyun brings her home and applies medicine to her hand. Here, Tae-hee tells him, I will go to another city for some work. So Hyun says, I will also go with you. Hearing this, Tae-hee is happy. On the other side, Suji is still very angry thinking about Tae-hee's mom. Seju tries to cool her anger, but she gets angry at him instead and leaves. Then she goes to meet Tae-hee's mom and, on some pretext, shows her the published article about the marriage of Hyun's dad and her mom. Seeing it, Tae-hee's mom gets very angry. Seeing this, Suji leaves smiling. But while leaving, she also takes their client list with her. Then, when Suji looks at that list, Hyun's dad's name is also on it. Seeing this, Suji is shocked and says, does mom know about his connection to this woman? Then, Hyun comes to meet Suji and says to her, I do not want your mom to suffer like my mom, so you tell me who my dad is having an affair with. Suji still does not tell him anything. On the other side, Hyun's dad's assistant comes to meet Suji's mom and says, do not marry Hyun's dad, they are using you only for their business. He tries hard to explain to Suji's mom, but Suji's mom doesn't agree and leaves, so the assistant also follows her. Just then, Hyun's dad arrives and sees them both leaving. Then Hyun's dad comes to his office and calls Tae-hee's mom, but his call does not go through. The next day, Tae-hee and Hyun go to a place where Tae-hee starts making a drawing of that place. Then Hyun is looking at her and is also upset, thinking, what will happen if Tae-hee ever finds out the truth? Then Tae-hee does her work, after which they both wander there and also click photos. After this, they go to eat and drink. By the time they finish drinking, it becomes very late. Because of this, their bus is missed, so they plan to stay there. Here, everyone comes to Seju's restaurant to eat food, where Suji finds out from Ju that Tae-hee has gone out somewhere. Hearing this, Suji suspects that she has gone with Hyun. On the other side, when Hyun and Tae-hee check for a room, they get only one room, so they both decide to stay in the same room. Then, as they are lying down, they come close to each other while talking and start kissing. Here, after everyone leaves, Seju says to Ju, I do not think those two will come back today. Hearing this, Ju asks Seju, do you know that Hyun and Tae-hee are dating? Seju says, yes, I know. Ju says, Hyun told me to keep this a secret. If Suji finds out about this, will there be a problem? Seju says, I do not know. Then Seju meets Suji, so Suji asks him, have Hyun and Taehee gone together? Seju gives no answer to this and tells her to play the cello. Suji plays the cello, then Seju kisses her. Seeing this, Suji is shocked and leaves without saying anything. After this, Seju goes home and drinks. The next morning, Hyun wakes up early and brings breakfast for Taehee. When Taehee sees him, she is happy. Then Hyun says to her, let's stay here for 1 or 2 more days. Taehee refuses, so Hyun says a bit sadly, well, let's go back. On the other side, Suji is having a dream that Seju is about to kiss her. She immediately wakes up from it and says, how can Seju do this to me? Then while Hyun and Taehee are returning, a car is about to hit Taehee, but Hyun saves her. After this, Taehee tells him, 2 years ago, I had an accident just like this. Hyun asks her, give me the details about the accident, so Taehee gives him the details. Hearing Taehee's words, Hyun thinks, the person who had an accident with my mother's car was Taehee herself. But he doesn't tell this to Taehee yet. Then Hyun is at home and is thinking about all this. Then he gets a message from Taehee who asks him to eat noodles together. Seeing this message, Hyun goes to Taehee's house, so Taehee says, today I will make the noodles. Hyun says, fine. Then he sees her house is dirty and starts cleaning. While cleaning, he finds his DNA report. He looks at it and gets sad. Then Taehee arrives there, so Hyun shows her that report and asks, have you read this? Taehee says, yes, I have. Hyun says, I did not want anyone to know this, but you have not done well by reading this. After this, he leaves sadly. Then Taehee goes to his house and says sorry to him, so Hyun sends her away, saying, I want to be alone for some time. The next day, Seju meets Suji, so Suji gets angry at him. Why did you kiss me? Then she tells him, today I am forgiving you, do not do this again. Then Hyun meets Suji and Seju, so Suji says to him, I know you are still dating Taehee. Hyun says, yes. On this, Suji says, if you leave Taehee, I will tell you who your dad is dating. On the other side, Taehee writes a note and sticks it on Hyun's door. Then Hyun arrives and looks at that note in which Taehee has written, sorry. After this, Hyun is at home and is thinking about what he should do next. Here, Suji meets her mom and says to her, Hyun's dad is dating someone, you know this, right? Mom says, yes, I know. Suji says, even knowing this, why are you marrying him? Mom says, our companies will merge from this and it will benefit us. Hearing this, Suji gets very angry. The next day, Taehee says sorry to Hyun again. Hyun notices here that Taehee has worn his mother's locket. He feels good seeing this, so he asks Taehee to meet at night. Taehee says, okay, let's meet. Then Taehee meets Ju and tells her everything. Also, she tells her, Hyun has called me to meet tonight. Hearing this, Ju immediately sends her home and says, prepare well for the night. Then Taehee comes home and starts getting ready. On the other side, Hyun goes to his mother's grave and starts crying while sharing his problem with her. Then at night, Taehee's mom meets Hyun's dad and gets angry at him. Why have you done all this to me? Hyun's dad tries to explain to her, I am doing this marriage only for business. But Taehee's mom doesn't listen to anything and leaves angrily. Then at night, Taehee goes with Ju to the place mentioned by Hyun, where Seju and Suji have also come. Hyun starts insulting Taehee's dress here. Seeing this, Taehee feels bad, so she asks to talk to Hyun alone, but Hyun doesn't listen to her. After this, he also says to Taehee, I do not like you at all. Hearing this, Taehee feels very bad, so she leaves sadly. After this, Hyun starts drinking. Then Suji takes him home. She sees Taehee there, so she takes Hyun from there. Taehee sees Hyun and runs after his car to talk to him, but Suji does not let the car stop. Then Suji brings Hyun to the place where these three often meet. Suji lays Hyun down here and says, you are not fine, so I will stay here today. But Hyun gets angry at her and sends her away. Then Taehee goes home and starts crying, remembering the moments spent with Hyun. Then, as Hyun's dad comes to meet Suji's mom asks him, today I have seen you going to another hospital. If there is any problem, you can tell me. Hyun's dad says, there is nothing like that, just a little eye problem. On the other side, Seju goes to drop off Ju and says, I know you like me, but I have started liking someone else, so you forget me. After this, he kisses Ju on the face and leaves. Then Ju comes home and starts crying, so her mom asks her, what happened? Ju says, nothing. The next day, as Taehee meets Ju, she sees her sad and asks, what happened? Ju says, Seju does not like me, he told me this last night. He only considers me his good friend. Taehee says, fine. At least now the feelings of both of you are clear, right? Ju says, yes. Then she asks Taehee, what will you do next? Taehee says, I do not know, I have not thought of anything. Then Hyun meets Suji, so Suji gives him a photo of Taehee's mom and says, "This is the one whose affair is going on with your dad." Here she does not tell him that this is Taehee's mom. Then she asks Hyun, "Now, how will you take revenge on them?" Hyun says, "I will see." On the other side, Suji's mom meets Hyun's grandma. So here in the middle of talking, grandma says a lot of things to her. This makes Suji's mom upset. Then Hyun meets his dad's assistant and asks him, "When my mother's accident happened, where was she going?" The assistant tells him she was going to meet Taehee's mom. After this, as Hyun is going, he meets Taehee. Hyun does not even call her. So seeing this, Taehee goes home in anger and starts getting angry at Hyun. "He could have at least said hello to me." Then she makes noodles, and while eating noodles, she feels angry thinking about all this. After this, she shouts loudly to release her anger. Hyun also hears her voice. The next morning, as Taehee is going, she meets Hyun, but he ignores him and leaves. Then Suji's mom is taking sleeping tablets, so Suji sees her. Seeing this, she gets angry. Then she messages Hyun's dad and calls him to meet. When Hyun's dad comes to meet her, Suji says to him, "My mom's health is deteriorating because of you, and I do not want this. I know you are marrying my mom only for business, and I also know that you are having an affair with another lady. That is why I put a proposal in front of you. You get me and Hyun married. This will also benefit your business, and you will be able to meet that lady whenever you want. And my mom will also be free from all this." On this, Hyun's dad says, "Give me some time, I will see what I have to do." Then as Taehee goes to the old age home, all the ladies there ask her about Hyun. Hearing Hyun's name, Taehee starts crying. Then when she is leaving, one lady says, "We should go and talk to Hyun." Another lady says, "No, we should give them some more time. Maybe the problem between them will get fixed on its own." On the other side, Hyun's dad meets Suji's mom and tells her, "Suji came to meet me. She said she wants to marry Hyun." Hearing this, Suji's mom is shocked. Then Hyun's dad says, "If they both want to marry, then we should step back." Then Taehee goes to Seju's restaurant and drinks with her friends. Here she drinks a lot and starts calling her friends Hyun. Seju sees all this, so he calls Hyun and asks him to come there. Then Hyun arrives and takes Taehee with him. On the other side, Suji's mom calls Suji repeatedly, but Suji does not pick up her call. So she messages her to come home quickly. Here, Hyun is taking Taehee, but Taehee says to him, "I do not want to go home." Then as Hyun starts picking her up and taking her, Taehee repeatedly says sorry to him and says, "Do not leave me and go." Hearing this, Hyun puts her down. Then Taehee hugs him and says, "Do not leave and go." While saying all this, she falls asleep there, so Hyun brings her home and lays her on the sofa. Then he says, "I'm sorry, Taehee," and goes to his house, but his locket falls there. On the other side, when Suji meets Seju, Seju tells her Hyun is going to meet Taehee's mom very soon. Learning this, Suji is shocked. The next day, Hyun emails Taehee's mom and asks to meet. On this, Taehee's mom sends her number and asks to call. On the other side, as Taehee wakes up, she finds Hyun's locket. Seeing it, she remembers that Hyun dropped her home last night. Remembering this, she goes to meet Hyun, but Hyun has already gone into the lift. Seeing this, Taehee comes down the stairs. But before she arrives, Hyun leaves with the car. So Taehee takes a shortcut and comes in front of his car. Hyun stops the car and comes out. So Taehee repeatedly asks him, "Why are you doing all this with me?" To this, Hyun tells her, 2 years ago, your accident happened from my mother's car, and because of them, you had to suffer a lot." Taehee says, "But what is your fault in this? And anyway, I have forgotten it, so you forget it too." While saying this, she hugs Hyun and says, "Please do not break up with me." Hyun also gets emotional from all this and starts crying. Then at night, Hyun comes to meet Taehee and says, sorry for hurting her. Taehee forgives him and makes him wear the locket. Then Hyun tells her about his dad. They are secretly having an affair with a lady. Learning this, Taehee is shocked. The next morning, Seju calls Suji and says to her, "You remember, right, today is Hyun's birthday?" Suji says, "Yes, I remember." After this, Suji hangs up the call to get ready, so Seju says she is always in a hurry. On the other side, Hyun and Taehee have breakfast together and are very happy. After this, Hyun drops Taehee, and then he goes to meet Taehee's mom and says to her, "I know your affair has been going on with my dad for many years. 2 years ago, my mother found out about your affair. That is why she was coming to meet you when someone innocent had an accident with her and got hurt a lot. After that, further on, my mother also had an accident. You are responsible for all this. If you had not had this affair, none of this would have happened." Taehee's mom gets sad learning all this. Then Hyun says to her, "Now I do not want what happened to my mother to happen to Suji's mom, so you end this affair." Saying this, as Hyun is leaving, Taehee's mom says, "Sorry to him. I did not know about all this." Then as Hyun is leaving, he gets a call from his dad who calls him to meet. After Hyun leaves, Taehee's mom remembers that 2 years ago, Taehee also had an accident. On the other side, as Taehee is walking, some of her stuff falls on the road. She is picking it up when Suji arrives there with her car, and Taehee narrowly escapes an accident. When Taehee looks at her car, she starts remembering about the night of the accident, and she thinks, I saw this same car that night. Then Suji leaves from there without saying anything. Seeing this, Ju and everyone else are shocked. Here, Hyun meets his dad, so the dad says to him, Suji came to meet me, she wants to marry you. Do you both like each other? Hyun says, no, she is only my good friend. Then Hyun also tells them here, I have just come after meeting Taehee's mom. She thought that Taehee's mom had done all this intentionally, but the truth is she also did not do all this intentionally. You have cheated her like my mom and Suji's mom. Hearing this, the dad gets angry at him. Why have you met her? To this, Hyun says, I did not want what happened with my mother to happen with Suji's mom, and leaves. After he leaves, the dad calls Taehee's mom, but she does not pick up his call. Then Seju and Suji do the decoration for Hyun's birthday, and when Hyun arrives there, they wish him a happy birthday. But Hyun is not happy with all this at all. He says to Suji, you have told my dad that you want to marry me. Suji says, yes, I said it. To this, Hyun gets angry at her and refuses to marry. Here he tells Suji, I only like Taehee and want to marry her. Hearing this, Suji says, then why did you break up with her? Hyun says, because I wanted to know who my dad is having an affair with, and also for the reason that she had an accident with my mother's car. But when I told her all this, she said it was not my fault and everything has become fine between us. Suji says, if she finds out that you played a fake love drama with her, she will never forgive you. Hyun says, I know, but I will keep apologizing to her, but I will not date anyone else but her. After this, Hyun leaves. On the other side, Taehee is preparing a surprise birthday for Hyun. Here, Seju asks Suji, do you like Hyun? Suji says, yes. Hearing this, Seju feels bad because he likes Suji, but he does not tell her all this and says to her, if you like Hyun, then tell him your feelings. Suji says, how do I tell? Did you see how angry he is? Then Suji goes home and her mom says to her, I have heard you want to marry Hyun. Suji says, yes. Mom says, it will be of no use because Hyun is not their real son. Learning this, Suji feels bad for Hyun. Then she gets angry at her mom and leaves. Why have you hidden all this from me? After this, Suji is in her room and says, Hyun, you should have told us all this. Then she goes out to find Hyun and also calls Seju to find Hyun. Seju asks why what happened. Suji says, I will tell you all that later. Here, when Hyun comes to Taehee's house, Taehee celebrates his birthday. Then Hyun is looking at Taehee's gift at his house, which Taehee had made with her own hands. Seeing this, he feels very good. Then he calls Taehee and calls her outside. Taehee comes outside, so Hyun asks her to come home. As Taehee is going to his house, Suji arrives there and sees them both together, so she feels very bad and leaves. Then Suji is standing outside the building when Seju arrives and takes her. Here, Taehee falls asleep on Hyun's bed while talking, so Hyun lays her on the bed and goes to sleep on the sofa himself. On the other side, Suji asks Seju, did you know they were living together? Seju says, no. Then he asks Suji, what happened to Hyun that you were so tense for him? Suji says, nothing. Here she also says, now I will not come between mom's marriage, let them do what they want. The next day, Taehee forcibly wakes up Hyun and takes him jogging. After that, Hyun goes to drop her at school, where Taehee's classmate starts flirting with her. Seeing this, Taehee scolds him and makes him run away. After this, as Hyun is going to drop Taehee to her class, Suji arrives there. So seeing them both together, she does not feel good, so she leaves without saying anything to them. On the other side, Hyun's dad messages Taehee's mom and asks to meet for the last time, so Taehee's mom says, fine, I agree to meet. Then Grandma, Hyun, Suji, and her mom meet for food, where Grandma is talking to Suji about her future plans, and Suji's mom gives the answers to her questions. Seeing this, Grandma gets angry, so she tells Hyun and Suji to go out. As Suji is going out, she intentionally turns on the recording in her mobile phone and leaves it there. After they leave, Grandma gets very angry at Suji's mom. I do not like people talking in between like this. Also, she says to her, I know you told Hyun's mom that Hyun's dad is having an affair with someone. Hearing this, Suji's mom gets upset. Then Grandma leaves. After she leaves, Suji's mom also leaves. Then she is in the washroom and remembers that moment when she had told this to Hyun's mom. Actually, Suji's mom knew all this for a long time. She had seen Hyun's dad and Taehee's mom together, and then one day she had told this to Hyun's mom. Here, Seju brings Suji's car, so Tae-hee asks him, "Is this Suji's car?" Seju says, "No, it is her mom's. It was closed for a long time, so I took it for servicing." Then he asks Tae-hee, "Have you celebrated Hyun's birthday?" Tae-hee says, "Yes, I did. Have you people not celebrated?" Seju says, "We were doing it, but Hyun had a fight with us and left." Then Hyun's dad goes to meet Tae-hee's mom, so Tae-hee's mom says to him, "What we have done is wrong, so our punishment is that we do not meet again." Hearing this, Hyun's dad is upset. Then, as he is leaving, his car has an accident. Seeing this, Tae-hee's mom takes him to the hospital. In the hospital, when they are asked to call someone from the family, Tae-hee's mom thinks about Hyun. On the other side, Hyun comes to meet Tae-hee when he gets a call from Tae-hee's mom, who tells him about the dad. Just then, Tae-hee sees Hyun and comes to him. Hyun says, "Dad's health is not fine, so I have to go. I will meet you later." Here, Seju meets Suji and asks her to go for a long drive, but Suji says, "I have some important work." On the other side, Hyun comes to the hospital and meets Tae-hee's mom. Tae-hee's mom says to him, "I will not meet him after today." Then she says, "Sorry to Hyun. Because of me, you and your mother had to endure so much." Here, in the middle of talking, she tells Hyun, "On that day, my daughter also had an accident." Hearing this, Hyun finds out that she is Tae-hee's mom. Then he calls Suji to confirm this, but Suji does not pick up his call. Then Hyun meets his dad, so his dad says, "I am perfectly fine." Then Hyun tells him about Tae-hee's mom. She has gone, and she has said that you should not meet her again. Hyun's dad says, "Fine." On the other side, Suji meets Tae-hee and tells her, "An affair is going on between Hyun's dad and your mom." Here, she also tells her, "Hyun's mom was going to meet your mom 2 years ago when her accident happened. So now you tell your mom to break her affair with Hyun's dad. What they did to Hyun's mom 2 years ago, let them not do to my mom." Tae-hee gets very upset hearing all this and starts crying. Then Hyun comes to meet Suji and asks her, "You already knew that lady is Tae-hee's mom, right?" Suji says, "Yes, I knew." Hearing this, Hyun gets very, very angry at her. Then he asks Suji, "Have you told everything to Tae-hee?" Suji says, "Yes, I have told her." Hearing this, Hyun gets very angry and breaks his friendship with Suji and leaves. Then Hyun comes to Tae-hee's house, but Tae-hee is not at home. He calls her too, but his call does not go through. On the other side, Tae-hee goes to her class and thinks of spending the night there. Here, Suji meets Seju and tells him everything. Seju asks her, "If Hyun is gone, then what I am with you, right?" Seju tells Suji his feelings here. But Suji ignores his feelings and says to him, "We will always remain good friends." Then Seju meets Hyun and says to him, "Suji is very hurt because of you. If she gets hurt again, it will not be good." They both are talking like this when 2 boys arrive and start making fun of Seju. On this point, Seju and Hyun have a fight with them. On the other side, Hyun's dad is worried because the doctor told him, "You have a tumor." Then he calls Suji's mom and says to her, "I will come to the hospital tomorrow. I have to get some tests done." Suji's mom says, "Fine." The next morning, Hyun looks for Tae-hee at her house again, but she is not there. Then, as Tae-hee is going, she gets a call from her dad, so she starts talking to him. Just then, Hyun arrives and says to her, "I have something to talk to you about." Then Tae-hee cuts the call and talks to Hyun. Hyun tries hard to explain to her, but Tae-hee says, "It is very difficult for me to stay in this relation now, so do not meet me again." After this, she kisses Hyun and leaves. Hyun cannot stop her. Then, as Tae-hee is going to Ju's house with her stuff, Hyun sees her from his house camera and says, "I will wait for you. I am sure one day you will come back to me." The next day, Suji says to her mom, "Why does grandma talk to you like this?" Mom says, "She talks to everyone like this." After this, Suji says to her mom, "Now I have no problem with your marriage. If you need my help, let me know." Mom says, "Fine." Here, Hyun is sitting at the bus stop and is missing Tae-hee very much. Then he comes to the restaurant where Tae-hee used to do a part-time job. Here, also, he sees Tae-hee everywhere. On the other side, Tae-hee's mom comes to meet her, so Tae-hee gets very angry at her. "The one with whom you are having an affair is my boyfriend's dad, and because of you, we both have separated." Tae-hee's mom is very sad learning this. Then Hyun goes to meet his grandma and tells her, "I am not Dad's real son. He told me himself that our DNA does not match." Grandma is shocked to learn this and tells Hyun, "Do not tell this to anyone yet." Hyun says, "Fine." Then, after Hyun leaves, Grandma calls a doctor and asks to do the DNA test again. Here, as Hyun's dad comes to the hospital, Suji's mom has many of his tests done and then tells him, "Yes, you really have a tumor, but you can be cured with surgery." Then when Hyun finds out about Dad, he comes to the hospital to meet him, but seeing him sleeping, he does not go into the room. On the other side, Tae-hee comes to the hospital's foundation department, where she finds out that a room has become empty in the hostel and now Tae-hee will get that room. Tae-hee is happy to hear this and then says, I do not know who called to cancel my room. Then as she is leaving, she meets Hyun, who asks her, what is the reason for coming to the hospital? So Tae-hee says, I came to the foundation to talk about the hostel room. Hyun asks, will you get the room now? Tae-hee says, yes, now I will get the room. Then as Tae-hee is leaving, Han takes her with him to talk about something, where he starts talking about the accident and says, in the middle of talking, I was told about this by Suji's mom. After this, he says to Tae-hee, I am sorry on behalf of my mother for that accident. Tae-hee says, no problem. Then Tae-hee is leaving, but she stops while going and sits in a place and starts remembering that accident. On the other side, Sejoo goes to the place where those three often met. He remembers the old things and says, we were so happy before then, everything ended because of Tae-hee's arrival. Here, Suji is listening to Grandma's recording and she gets very angry listening to it. Then she calls Hyun and says, we have to live in your house after marriage, so tell me the way to keep Grandma happy. Hyun says to her, I am in the hospital right now, I will talk to you later. Suji says, fine. Then she sends that recording to Hyun, but Hyun does not listen to it yet. Then, as Tae-hee is going, a man falls from the stairs and faints. Suji's mom immediately comes there and sees him. Seeing her treat the patient like this, Tae-hee remembers that Suji's mom had come there that night. Then, when she is leaving, Tae-hee stops her and says, I have remembered everything about the night of the accident. Then Suji's mom takes her to her cabin and tells her, Hyun's mother was admitted to my hospital. I had told her about Hyun's dad and your mom. She was very sad learning all this. They tolerated all this for some days, but then one day, she left from the hospital to meet your mom. I was also going after her when your accident happened by me. Hyun's mother's accident happened from something else. At that time, I was in a hurry, so I left you there and went away. Hearing this, Tae-hee gets angry and says, on that day when Hyun's mother's accident happened, I met her. I was going to ask for help for her when your car had an accident with me. Then you checked me and said you would come back and went away and you never came back. Do you know how much I waited for you that night? But you did not come. On this, Suji's mom says, when I went forward, Hyun's mother had died, and I forgot you because of that. Tae-hee says, so then you lied to Hyun to save yourself that his mother had the accident with me. Because of your lie, how guilty he is feeling. Now you have only one way to tell the whole truth to Hyun and apologize. If you do this, I will not file a police complaint against you. Suji's mom says, fine. After this, as Tae-hee is leaving from there, Suji arrives there and sees her. Then she comes to her mom, who is crying. Seeing this, Suji gets angry and says, Tae-hee must have said something to you. Then Tae-hee calls him, and tells him everything. On this, Hyun says to her, you should file a complaint against her. Tae-hee says, no, I do not want to get into all these troubles. Then as Tae-hee is leaving, Hyun says to her, you wait for me below, I will come after meeting Dad, and then drop you home. Tae-hee says, fine. Then she goes to the parking area where Suji meets her and says, what have you said to my mom that she was crying? Tae-hee says, go and ask your mom this. Hearing this, Suji starts getting angry at her. Just then, Hyun arrives and stops Suji and takes Tae-hee from there. Suji tries to stop him, but he doesn't stop. Seeing this, Suji gets angry, so she sits in her car and brings the car towards Hyun and Tae-hee and is about to hit them, but she stops. Seeing this, Hyun gets very angry, but Tae-hee takes him from there. Then Suji meets Sejoo and is very sad. Seeing her so sad, Sejoo feels very bad. Suji tells him everything here and says, I do not know why everyone leaves me. On this, Sejoo says to her, I will never leave you. Then he tells Suji his feelings again, but Suji ignores his feelings this time too. Here, Tae-hee tells everything to Joo, so Joo feels very bad for Tae-hee and after learning all this. The next day, when Hyun listens to that recording, he finds out that Suji's mom was the one who told his mom about Dad's affair. Hearing this, Hyun is shocked. Then he goes to meet Suji's mom and says to her, why did you lie to me that my mother had Tae-hee's accident? Actually, you are the one who had that accident. On this point, Suji's mom tells him everything and apologizes to him. Hyun says, step back from the marriage, I will not tell this to anyone. Suji's mom says, fine. Suji also hears these conversations of theirs, so she cannot believe that her mom has done all this. The next day, Grandma has Hyun's DNA test done, which shows that Hyun is her own grandson. When Hyun sees this report, he becomes emotional. Seeing this, Grandma says, I do not know who must have given that fake report to your dad. Hyun says, maybe Mom gave it, Dad hurt her. So she wanted to hurt Dad. That is why she must have done all this. Then Grandma asks Hyun to go abroad with her, so Hyun says, I will go with you, but before that, I have to do some work here. Then while Tae-hee is talking about her project in class, Hyun arrives there. Tae-hee sees him. Then Hyun writes something in her notebook and leaves. Then when Tae-hee comes to her seat, she sees that Hyun has asked her to come home there. Then while Tae-hee is in the canteen, Hyun arrives there, so Tae-hee asks about his dad. Hyun says, their surgery is about to happen. After this, Tae-hee leaves without any other talk, so Hyun also goes after her. Then while Tae-hee is in the library, Hyun arrives there too. Seeing this, Tae-hee leaves from there, so Hyun goes after her. Seeing this, Tae-hee tells him not to follow. So Hyun starts requesting her to come back home. As they both are talking, Suji arrives there. She sees them both and gets sad and goes back from there. At night, Tae-hee comes back. Hyun sees her coming back in the camera and is very happy. Then at night when they both start to sleep, they are thinking about each other. On the other side, Suji is very sad remembering those words. The next day, Hyun goes to meet Dad and tells him, after your surgery, I will go abroad with Grandma and will take admission in some drawing school there. On the other side, Tae-hee's dad returns from Germany, so Tae-hee meets him. He asks her to introduce him to Hyun. On this, Tae-hee tells him everything. After listening to her, the dad says, I think that boy still loves you very much. You should think about him. After that, as Tae-hee is going, she is thinking only about Hyun. Tae-hee is going while thinking all this when she meets Hyun in a place, who is thinking about her. He sees Tae-hee and asks her to spend the next day with him, to which Tae-hee says, okay, I will come. On the other side, Suji meets Sejao and tells him, Hyun is going abroad, and I am also going abroad, and I am trying to make Mom go with me too. Hearing all this, Sejao gets angry and asks Suji to stay, but Suji refuses and says, all this happened because of me, the three of us separated because of me, I should not have started all that. On this, Sejao says, what is your fault in this? All this happened because of Tae-hee. Here, Hyun and Tae-hee return, so Hyun says to Tae-hee, I have something to talk to you about. Here, he is about to tell Tae-hee, I had made a bet to play fake love with you, but he cannot tell and says, I will tell you some other time. Then while Hyun is at home, Sejao comes to meet him and asks him to stop Suji, but Hyun refuses. Then Sejao calls Tae-hee to meet. Tae-hee comes to meet him, so Sejao brings her with him to the place where those three always met. Here, Sejao tells Tae-hee everything. Hyun made a bet to love you fakedly, and we planned here how to trap you. Here, he also shows Tae-hee some videos that Sejao had made while planning. Learning all this, Tae-hee is shocked and asks, why did you people do all this with me? Sejao says, because we wanted to take revenge on Lee by snatching his first love from him. Tae-hee says, but I am not his first love, he is my senior, that is why I know him. Then she asks Sejao, why are you telling me all this now? Sejao says, because after your arrival, the three of us became separated. Because of you, Hyun left us and joined your side. Now I want to punish Hyun by separating him from you. Tae-hee gets very sad from all this and leaves from there. Then Tae-hee comes outside and her condition is bad. Seeing this, the security guard sits her in a place. Then, as Hyun calls Tae-hee, the security guard picks up his call and tells him about Tae-hee's health. Hearing this, Hyun immediately comes to meet Tae-hee, so Tae-hee gets very, very angry at him. Why have you done all this with me? Hyun tries to explain to her, but Tae-hee does not listen to anything of his and leaves angrily. Then Hyun meets Sejao and says to him, I was about to tell all this to Tae-hee myself and apologize to her, then why did you do all this before me? On this point, Hyun starts to hit Sejao but does not hit him. Then Sejao leaves from there. After he leaves, Hyun sits there and starts crying. On the other side, Tae-hee takes a taxi and goes to her mom's house. When the mom sees her in this condition, she becomes very, very worried and immediately takes her inside and puts her to sleep. The next day, Suji's mom meets Hyun and tells him, today is your dad's surgery and it can take a whole day. Hyun says, my dad is very strong and I am sure he will get well soon. Then Hyun's dad is taken for surgery. Here, Tae-hee's mom asks Tae-hee, what happened to you? Tae-hee says, since I came here from Germany, everything has gone wrong with me. First, my accident happened, and after that, also everything has gone wrong. That is why I have decided that when Dad goes back to Germany, I will also go with him. On the other side, Sejao meets Suji and tells her, I have told everything to Tae-hee, and because of this, Hyun got angry at me. Hearing this, Suji is worried and says, tell Hyun you did all this because of me now. Nothing will ever be fine between me and Hyun again, and I do not want the friendship of you two to break now. Sejao says, fine. They are talking about this when Suji gets a call from Hye-jong. Hye-jong is actually Lee's future wife, with whom Suji has made a friendship. Hye-jong's mom has fixed her marriage with Lee, but she likes someone else, and for this reason, she has escaped from home. Now she has no place to stay, so she calls Suji. Suji then says to Sejao, you take them to your place. Seju says, fine. Then he takes Hyejung and her boyfriend to his place. Here Lee meets Hyejung's mom and says, if you want, I can bring Hyejung back. Mom says, fine, do anything but bring Hyejung back. Then Suji meets Hyun and says, everything Seju has done, he has done all at my saying. I wanted to hurt Tae-hee. That is why all this was done. Hearing this, Hyun feels bad and says to Suji, never meet me again, even if I come in front, react as if you do not know me. And leaves. Then Tae-hee's mom calls Tae-hee's dad and tells him about Tae-hee, so the dad meets Tae-hee and takes her with him. On the way, Tae-hee says to him, I will also go to Germany with you. Dad says, fine. Here, Lee gets a call from someone who tells him where Hyejung is. Hearing this, Lee is happy. Then he starts joking with Hyejung's brother Kyejong and hits him while joking. Seeing this, Hyejong's mom remembers that Lee always does this with Kyejong, and Hyejong had told her this before, but she had not believed her words. Remembering all this, the mom gets angry, so she immediately breaks Hyejong's engagement with Lee and tells him to leave from there. This makes Lee very angry. Then as Tae-hee is going to school, she meets Suji. She takes her with her to a place and says, sorry for what happened in the parking. Tae-hee says, what you people did with me was very wrong, but because of it, you people also got punished. Your friendship is broken, and your mom's truth has also come in front of everyone. Now you people are also suffering like me. Saying this, Tae-hee leaves from there. Then Lee goes home, and his dad gets very angry at him because of the broken engagement. This makes him even angrier. Then he takes a man and Hyejong's brother, Kyejong, to that place and hits Hyejong's boyfriend. Then he starts hitting Kyejong too. Just then, Seju arrives there. So Lee's man hits him too. Then Lee finds Tae-hee's photo there, on which it is written that she is Lee's first love, and there he also finds all the other things from which Lee understands the whole matter of what happened here. Seeing this, he also gets angry at Hyun and Seju, so he calls Hyun and calls him to meet. Then Hyun arrives and starts hitting them. In between, Hyejong, her boyfriend, and Kyejong come outside. After coming outside, Hyejong calls and tells everything to Tae-hee. Tae-hee once used to give her tuition, so Hyejong knows her. Hearing this, Tae-hee immediately arrives there. So she sees that Lee and his man are hitting Hyun and Seju a lot. She tells them to stop, but they don't stop. So Tae-hee calls the police. Seeing this, Lee is about to hit her when Hyun comes in between and gets hit, because of which he faints and falls there. Seeing this, Lee and his man get scared and run away from there. Then Tae-hee takes Hyun to the hospital, and the doctors start his treatment. On the other side, while Lee is going, he gets a call from his dad, who gets very, very angry at him. What have you done with Hyun? Then he goes to meet Suji and shows her the video of Hyun and Seju and says, you did all this to take revenge on me, right? Now I have taken revenge on you by hitting them. Seeing this, Suji becomes very worried. On the other side, Hyejong goes home, and her mom says to her, I have found out that Lee is not good for you at all. That is why now I will marry you to the one whom you like. Hearing this, Hyejong starts crying with joy. On the other side, Suji is calling Hyun, but his call does not go through. Then she gets a call from Seju, who tells her everything. Hearing this, Suji immediately comes to the hospital, and seeing Hyun like this, she feels very bad that all this happened because of her. Then Seju takes her from there to home and leaves after telling her to rest. After he leaves, Suji takes many sleeping pills and goes to sleep. On the other side, when Suji's mom comes out of the hospital, she meets Hyun's dad's assistant, who asks her about Hyun's dad's health, and Suji's mom says, the surgery was successful, now they will get well soon. Here, Suji wakes up, and because of taking more sleeping pills, she sees Hyun. Then she goes to get water. When she returns after taking water, the jug falls from her hand and breaks. She starts to pick it up when glass gets in her hand, which causes her hand to bleed, and Suji faints right there. Then Suji's mom arrives there, and seeing her like this becomes very worried. On the other side, the doctors tell Tae-hee, due to the injury on Hyun's head, he has developed swelling, and until the swelling reduces, Hyun will remain in a coma. Hearing this, Tae-hee is worried and starts crying, remembering all that she had said to Hyun. Then Suji's mom also gets Suji admitted to the hospital. Then Seju comes to meet her and cries a lot seeing her like this. The next day, Tae-hee's dad comes to meet her and says to her, I am going to Germany in 2 or 3 days. If you also want to go, then get ready. Tae-hee says, fine. Then at night, Seju comes to meet Suji again and leaves after placing flowers. Then he goes to meet Hyun but leaves after seeing him from outside the room. Then as Tae-hee is filling out the form to go to Germany, Ju stops her from going. But Tae-hee says, no, my going is necessary. I will do my further study in Germany, and this is very necessary for me. And Ju says, fine. The next day, Grandma comes to meet the dad and tells him about Hyun. Here, she also tells him about the DNA report. I have had the test done again, and it perfectly matched. Hearing this, Hyun's dad is shocked and then feels sad, remembering all that he has done with Hyun. Then he goes to meet Hyun and feels very bad seeing him like this. Then Tae-hee brings Hyun's stuff from his house to the hospital. When she is taking out that stuff, she finds a diary in it in which Hyun has accepted his mistake and asked for her forgiveness. Reading this, Tae-hee becomes very sad. On the other side, Soo-ji is calling Se-ju, but his call does not go through. Then she starts looking for him, but she finds him nowhere. Seeing this, she becomes worried about where Se-ju has gone. And here she also thinks, I realize my feelings that I like Se-ju. The next day, as Tae-hee and Ju come to the hospital, they see doctors going to Hyun's room in a hurry and get worried. Then Tae-hee sends Ju into the room to find out what happened. Ju comes back and tells her, Hyun has regained consciousness. Hearing this, Tae-hee starts crying. Then Ju tries to explain to her, you should meet Hyun. But Tae-hee says, I will not meet him right now. If we meet now, we will hurt each other again and I do not want this. After this, Tae-hee leaves from there. Then Ju meets Hyun and tells him, Tae-hee was with you all this time, but now she has gone. Hearing this, Hyun starts crying. Then before leaving, Tae-hee meets her mom and says, I'm sorry, Mom, and everything becomes fine between them. After this, Tae-hee leaves from there. Then we are shown a scene 5 years later where Soo-ji and Se-ju are still missing each other. On the other side, Tae-hee has now become an architect. She gets the job of designing a house from someone, and that landowner repeatedly emails her to change the design, which makes Tae-hee irritated. Then her colleagues say, you meet them once so they can tell you properly what kind of design they want. Tae-hee says, fine. Then flowers come in Tae-hee's name, so she asks, who has sent these flowers? Her colleague tells her, this landowner has sent these flowers. Hearing this, Tae-hee is surprised. On the other side, Soo-ji is playing the cello when she also gets flowers and there is a card in them. When Soo-ji looks at it, she is very happy. Then we see Se-ju, who has opened his new restaurant and is working in it. Just then, Soo-ji arrives there and meets him. Se-ju is surprised to see her and asks, who gave you this address? Soo-ji says, Hyun sent me your address. Then Soo-ji confesses her love to Se-ju, and both hug each other and are very happy. The next day, Tae-hee goes to meet that landowner, and it is none other than Hyun. Seeing him, Tae-hee is very happy. Then they both hug each other and everything becomes fine between them. And with this, the drama ends.